I was
It was
posting
5 years
cryptic.
ago yesterday. Crazy.
Yeah,
Did you
nobody thought we could do it,
did you think
including us.
did, I was like, did you think 5 years later, and we can talk about this, but the last year was kind of a wash as far as like podcasts go. But did you think that 5 years ago we'd still be doing it?
I would say yes, all the way. Last year, I didn't think I would still be breathing, much less much less doing a podcast. I had no. I was be apathetic would not be the right word. I was just like, yeah, no, I didn't care about anything. So, but I wasn't actively thinking like, oh, that's the end of it. Like, so no, but yeah, because it's pretty good from the jump. It's
Yeah,
pretty
no, I
good.
agree.
It's pretty good podcast, and we had a pretty good response from the jump. So the people that were listening were, I don't know, I felt like, yeah, I felt like that it's something that would go and I don't know. I didn't really think about when it would end. It was just like, oh yeah, we're doing this is the thing that we're doing. But it has crept up on me for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those things. Like I've already watched more regular season Astros baseball this year than I did of the entire regular season last year. Like it's just sort of like we're getting towards the end of everything's still bad. I mean, let's not mince words here. Everything's still terrible. But the one part that's been like the most dominant terrible thing, COVID is sort of coming. For now, the close is in sight. So there's a little bit more of a reason to be optimistic. This time last year, there was no optimism
No,
whatsoever.
no, that makes a big difference. And like I think, well, yeah, baseball wise, like I came in, I'm like, oh, I'm excited about this season. I'm pumped. I went out and met some friends for opening day. I have tickets for next Friday night, so that's the second game. So I'm
Nice.
gonna go see what that just see what that's just to see what experiencing a baseball game is like again with 10,000 fans. So that'll be interesting in itself. But no, yeah, just paying attention and watching the team and it seems like there's a parallel between that and then how the team played. The team was they're back, like they're having fun again. They're playing baseball. Like it looks like all of the chips are gone off their shoulders. Like we're back to watching the dynasty team of 2017 through 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Those
that's
guys are
true.
back.
It's also the first. This is the first season since 2008. Since the 2008 season that I am not blogging about the Astros, and that is a huge weight that has been lifted. There was a twinge opening day. I was like, do I jump back into it? And then I thought, nah, I made a pretty dramatic exit to go back on it just because it's opening day. Nah, but it's weird not having to worry about Astros County and this game ended and what crazy baseball stat can I pull out of Baseball Reference for this particular day. But it's fun. It's fun to just like I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna watch this game. I don't have to have an angle. I don't have to be looking for anything. I'm just gonna watch it.
There's something to be said for that because like you can love the game as much as you love the game and like I mean for instance when I was doing the radio show like or when the weeks that we're doing our two shows, a Patreon show, a post game, as well as our regular podcast, where we're like, there's legit burnout, and it has nothing to do with the thing that we're watching. It's just like I don't. It could be anything we're talking about. And it's like I just don't have the energy to do it. So like
Yeah,
that's to have added stress over something, even if you love it, doesn't mean you love it any less. It's just like I don't. Now I got it's work. It becomes work, and you have that same the feeling of work where it's like I got to get this done and get this out. I got deadlines, so there's got to be some freedom there to be actually just to be able to enjoy the thing that you enjoy.
yeah. No, this feels like there's been a whole lot of just mental space and brain space that's been cleared up since sort of pulling the plug on it. And 12 years is a good run for a blog. That's a good run.
That's an amazing run for a blog.
So, and I was thinking about it, and I'm going to say this, and knowing full well that this doesn't really apply, but it just felt weird. Like I started that blog when I was like 28, and now I'm 41. I'm like, do I want to be the 41-year-old guy with like a blog? Like, is that or? I don't know. And like even my wife's been like, you're kind of overplaying that a little bit. Like that's not as big
I
a
don't
deal
think
as
I think I think that's like you're applying like old school thinking to bloggers to like now the
Yeah.
term blogger is not pejorative. It's not like some negative thing. Like it's just somebody who's not, an AP media member that is writing like that has a website. Like there are very reputable writers and media members that would be called bloggers. So I think you're reading into that some, but
That could be it.
that's a long time to be doing it. But you took it more seriously than like, I mean, I blogged for a while, and if I got a couple of posts every week out, then I was working too hard. So you took it seriously and you remained regimented, and you had other people that were contributing, and you were putting these lists out, and you were doing these links, and you were doing this. Like you had a thing that you stuck to that you continue to do, which is integral to actually being successful as a blog, and it afforded you some writing opportunities and
Yeah, no,
some connections that helped our podcast, and some stuff that you wouldn't have got otherwise. I think it's been a great thing, and I think you'll always be a legend for that, and people will miss it for sure.
Overall, it was a net positive on my life, and there's not a whole lot that's changing other than like I'm still on Twitter like way too much. And
yeah, your Twitter has been crushing lately. By the way, I've been meaning to tell you this. I'm gonna wait for the show, but I'm just saying like that your comedy posts have been like they're very subtle, and they're just right there, and they're very good. I just want to say your posts have been very, very, very good.
Thank you. That actually there's and Kami and I talk about this a lot, that there are times where like if you put something on Twitter or like the cursed website Facebook, and only like two people react, but it's two people that like you respect. You're like, okay, that was good. I'm good. Like,
yeah.
So
those are saviors. Those are saviors. Like, oh, two funny people that I know like this because it's funny. It's like, yeah, that can save a disastrous post that you thought was otherwise just an absolute egg.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's it's gonna be a fun, like it's gonna be a fun. I think it's gonna be a fun year for a lot of different reasons, and one of those reasons is that the Astros are gonna be 162-0 when this is all said and done.
Yeah, I have no proof to say otherwise.
But seriously, like to come out, I mean, the 2020 season was whatever it was. The Astros finished 29-31, but to go to Oakland and you come out of Oakland 4-0, and I know you a 4-game swing can happen obviously in a weekend, but to just come out and not just sweep the A's, but to absolutely like destroy them from opening day, through the weekend. Like that's gotta. I think if the Astros had gone 1-3, I don't think it would have been doom and gloom. It would have been like, well, this is what happens in Oakland. Like this is just one of those things that's what happens to the Astros. Are you surprised? I mean, I'm surprised by 4. Like it's hard to sweep a 4-game series on the road. Are you surprised? Or were you like, no, this is a very logical.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm not. I don't want to act like that it was like a foregone conclusion, because I don't know, they pretty much annihilated them in the playoffs and last year, and they and you know what? As much as the Astros are good, and they put it all together on like everything that was good on paper came together, like exactly how that lineup is set up to work when it's at its best came into fruition. But the Oakland A's just are not good, and we preached this last year. They still are not. They just I don't know. There were some crackpot sites having them picking the A's to win the division.
Yeah, and I
mean they're not a bad baseball team, but that's Matt Chapman's fine. Olson's fine. These aren't superstars. I'm sorry, they're just not.
No.
And if you go star power to star power, it's not even comparable. And then our young guys, who are arguably as good as their superstars, with the Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker's driving in all these runs. It's not It's not even.
No, and I think the last couple of years of A's teams, specifically like 19 and 20, I think they were okay in 18. I can't really remember because they don't matter. If someone's like, "What do you think about the
No.
A's?" I'm like, I don't think about the A's. Those were decent. Those were pretty good teams, but they just lost too much. Like they lost. I know Chris Davis, perpetually hits 247 and whatnot, but they lost Liam Hendricks. They lost Chris Davis. They traded for Elvis Andrus. Like that's not a very good team. And I think
he's our age. He's my age. Obviously, actually, he's a little bit younger, but he's still pretty young.
But I think, and we've said it on this podcast that Oakland could have 25, or I guess 26 now, but Eddie Gaddell's up, on their roster, and they'd still somehow win 90 games because it's just devilry what Oakland does. But I think it's kind of I think it's going to catch up to them. I think the Angels finish higher than the A's this year.
I completely agree, but I mean I can also see the scenario where the A's feed, which is the Astros and Angels right as well. We're just going to feed on Seattle and feed on Texas, two of the legitimate worst teams in the league. So they can get some wins that way. I mean, they're not a bad baseball team, but like there's nothing about and I saw this in the postseason last year, or the fake postseason, whatever you want to call it. Like they just don't. Like, does Luzardo have good stuff? Yes. Can Sean Manaea come out and pitch you a great game? Yes. But these aren't guys that you are scared of. You don't sit there and see like, fuck, I got to deal with this guy's stuff. I got to deal with, I mean, and then you have Greinke coming out and pitching like he does. It's, if that's going to happen, then good luck. McCullers was mediocre and was still great.
Were you surprised that McCullers was, and I can't remember, and obviously since like I shut down Astros County, there's not a reason for me to go to astros.com every day or whatever, and I've been kind of taking a break from that. Why didn't McCullers, was it just a timing thing? Why he pitched game 3 and not game 2?
I think they're just spreading it out, maybe. I don't know. I mean, but Christian Javier at his best, he just didn't have the best outing. I don't have a problem with it set up like that. In fact, I think
it's we talked about it when it was Verlander Cole.
That's different. They were the same kind of pitcher though. That's it's kind of what I'm saying, but it's a little bit different. I mean, just to kind of stagger out or just play with it. It's early in the season. I think Dusty Baker, it might be a tinkerer.
Yeah, no,
and then once he finds it, he sets it in.
But not that McCullers and Greinke are similar pitchers, but they're both going to locate and they're both going to have really good breaking stuff. And Javier is just going to pump gas at you. Like I really like the idea of splitting up, and like we talked about.
Yeah, me too.
We wanted Cole and Verlander. We wanted someone in between Cole and Verlander for that reason. Because in a 3-game series, when you've got Verlander, Cole, and just pick somebody, you get used to. I would imagine if you're a major league hitter, you get used to 99. Pretty quickly. If you've got someone like Greinke in between them who's painting the corners at 87 and then calls out a 59 mile an hour pitch and nails it, like, and then you go back to the 99 mile an hour guy, like that's hopeless. Like you don't. So I really like the idea of splitting up Greinke and McCullers.
I do too. And McCullers' velocity is down. Like he's throwing, he's down in the 93, 94 tops max range on those fastballs. And granted that McCullers, he throws 7 different fastballs at different velocities, that he can, like if he wants to throw you a 97 when he's charged up high, he can pump it up there. But he was consistently around 93, which is down. So I mean that is, and he's throwing a bunch of breaking stuff. I think he was just standard McCullers overamped, a little bit overhyped. He's a super competitor.
He just signed an extension.
I think, yeah, and he wasn't crazy wild. He got into a little, he walked a couple of guys too much, and he was in 3-ball counts a little bit too much. But he pitched his way out of the bunch, and I don't know if he went up 7 strikeouts or something.
Well, and I remember
he still looked good. You still saw that McCullers was there, like that. All right, we're okay. Like McCullers pitched well.
Yeah, and I remember there was, and this was like, I want to say it was like 2013, 2014, that like Dallas Keuchel's first couple of starts, his fastball was like 88, 89. And I remember putting something on Twitter and being like, well, this is concerning. And I it's going to sound like I'm name dropping, but I'm not, because I might have just totally remembered this wrong.
Drop the name.
Either Keuchel himself or someone that knows Keuchel way more than I did or do, messaged me on Twitter and be like, dude, this is normal. Like, this is just you're getting your legs under you from going from spring training, where, you know, in spring training you throw an inning, then 2 innings, then 3 innings, and then you go out and you start the season, and that's when you need to go 6 or 7.
Greinke does that. Greinke does the exact same thing, where he's like, he tells you what he's doing. I'm building up to this. I'm not doing spring training. I'm showing up. I'll be ready. And that's kind of that's why that first dominating start was so surprising. I mean, he was locating his pitches great, but he had to say he did the exact same thing. Well, he's going to be down. You saw 87-mile-an-hour fastballs. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, you hurt, dude. Like, but apparently, like it's sort of like a thing that velocity is down your first couple of starts, and so I don't think we need to. McCullers is not going to top out at 93. You know, the season after coming back.
I think it was by choice. I think he was trying to pace himself to go deep into the game because of his pitch count. Would be my best guess on it.
That's because
he talks about a lot. What, you know, one of the things he likes to do is throw 3 different changeups, 3 different breaking balls that, you know, one curveball's hard at 83, one comes back at 75, and then fastballs 97, 95, 93, 90-mile-an-hour cutter, like to where like to hit that, it makes it so that much more difficult. So I think his location is the thing that he needs. If he hits his location, he's as unstoppable a pitcher as there is in the league.
Hitting a baseball is an absolute miracle. Like, I don't know how anyone actually does it. Like, it's
all timing. So if you got 3 different pitches that are the same pitch off of that are all going in 3 different, that's why Greinke's impossible. It's like, you're telling me I got an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, I can tee up on that. But if I got to look for a 59-mile-an-hour fucking eephus or even just a 65-mile-an-hour curveball, like I can't. You can't get settled in there, and you're just up there guessing. So I mean, that makes him difficult from the jump, and I think that's gonna become big. And then you got Urquidy today, who was
fine. Yeah.
I read a story. Seems like that's who he is, Mr. Cool. Just Mr. Cool. I'm gonna go do my job, just take care of business. That seems to be who he is. From what I've gathered.
It really is. I read a story, to go back to your Greinke, like 59-mile-an-hour. I read a story that it was from like the 1950s, and I think the Giants had a pitcher that was similar to Greinke, and like the story around him was like he was successful because he's kind of like a Jamie Moyer guy. Like, the velocity was so different from what
just old
major league hitters were used to, that there was a reporter that was like, hey, can I stand in against him and just see what it's like? And the manager, I think it was Leo DeRocher, was like, absolutely not. It's like, what? I mean, you know, what's the big deal? He's like, look, like, you could hit a 60-mile-an-hour pitch. Like, that's not, you know, that's not crazy for you to do it. But, you know, the guys that are up here, they're not used to that. And so if you're just a reporter standing in against this pitcher to see what it's like, and you're not used to seeing high velocity pitches, you can kind of sit on it. And he's like, he's basically said, like, if you take my pitcher yard, like, it's going to destroy his confidence. And because it's just
but it is going to boost yours up, and you are going to have the greatest day, maybe the year of your life. It's gonna be a proponent for you to do great things, because you're gonna trot around the bases and you're gonna be doing the fucking ears, and you're gonna be like, if I take a pitcher yard trying to throw me his actual pitch, like I'm just like, sorry, sir, I am bat flipping. Like I am gonna bat flip. I'm gonna walk all the way around, stare you down. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I just hit a home run off you. Like, so I get why you would never let that expose him like that. Yeah. But did Moyer never threw hard?
No.
So guys like Greg Maddux and Greg Maddux, not even as much as, like, Zach Greinke was a mid-90s, 96, 95 mile an hour power pitcher when he came up with Kansas City.
Yep.
So to reinvent himself, and Maddox did kind of the same thing, where just became location and just being an expert professional pitcher. Like that's just so impressive at that level, to reinvent yourself, to come up and do one thing and then become a completely different pitcher and still be at the top of your game. I mean, I think that just has to be commended.
Is
Because I
it
mean,
one
you
of
could
the
see it the way the pitches the way he throws, when he throws fastballs, the counts. You're like, this isn't a fastball count. And he'll lock their knees. They're looking for a breaking ball, and then he'll throw. It's just the so, and that's our homeboy behind the plate too. But like that, just
yeah?
that approach, like it's really impressive to watch.
It's like Greinke, and I know we're not going to get Verlander until the playoffs, and he's going to come in and be the closer, and it's going to be freaking glorious. But Greinke has been for quite some time like appointment television. Like it's Greinke. Like I'm going to watch this. Like just because you don't know what you're going to see.
Right.
Is it one of the funniest things in baseball, or is it disconcerting that Greg Maddux looks like an accountant, but was apparently one of the filthiest human beings to ever play Major League Baseball?
I didn't know he was a filthy human being.
Like just like what he would say, like it's, and this is terrible because I can't remember any stories, but like he would just
you can't throw that out there and not have stories.
I'll look some up, but apparently like he would just say just like basically like he's the aristocrats of Major League Baseball. Like it's just so unexpected just how actually gross Greg Maddux is.
I saw some videos of him and throwing. He was throwing BP to somebody and they didn't know it was him, but he was talking a bunch of shit. And there was some hit, and like I could see him talking a bunch of trash. He always reminded me of Matthew Broderick.
Yes, absolutely.
He's got Ferris Bueller face.
Yeah, he totally does. That's exactly what he looks like. But
that makes it even better that he's sitting there just locating the change, and it's just like, yeah, it just, that just shows people who, I guess people who've never really played the game and don't have a grasp on how difficult it is just to hit any pitch that you know is coming, much less these perfectly located in times where you're not expecting it. The strategy part of the game, like just how hard hitting a major league pitcher is.
Yeah.
And especially one that knows where they can put it and knows exactly what you're thinking. And so it plays the chess of it. It's just like good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So the Astros go to Anaheim, right? They have
yeah.
It's a 3-game series because they have. Is it 2-game? And then they come back
no, because they have tomorrow off. So I thought it was Tuesday, Wednesday. They fly back here for the Thursday night opener, but that I could be wrong.
I could be. Yeah, I don't know.
I want to say it's Monday, but I could be wrong.
I want to say it's Monday, Tuesday, and then like Wednesday's off, and then they have Oakland. It doesn't matter. So they have an off day this week. Is it cowardice or is it absolutely hysterical that 7 of the Astros' first 10 games, and 7 of the Angels or the A's first 10 games are against, or it's Houston and Oakland, and Mike Fiers opened the season on the 10-day injured list? Is that hilarious or is that straight up cowardice?
Just par for the course. I mean, it's to be expected. He's done this. How many series in a row has he done this where he's just like, and maybe he does have legit injuries, but even when he wasn't completely injured, they skipped him on the start based on the way the rotation was. Mike Fiers will not pitch against this team again, no matter the scenario. And we should just know, and we should probably assume that that's just the case. And it's probably the best thing, honestly.
It's probably smart. Do you think that's Mike Fiers, or do you think, I don't know who the manager of the A's is?
An amalgam of everything. I think
it's an AI, like this person
knowing
does not
Mike
exist.
Fiers' little bitch ass, he's probably talking shit like, let me at him. It's like, buddy. No, he probably would want to pitch and go out there just with make a weird letter in his beard and stuff. Even though he knows he'll get rocked. So I don't. Yeah, he's a snake, but I think he'd go out there and pitch. I think it's just kind of understood. It might be like understood a league wide thing. Like, yeah, Mike Fiers does not pitch against it. We know what this will bring. These two cannot face each other under any circumstance. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was a deal under the table.
And it could be like a Rob Manfred, like basically Manfred signed a restraining
That's what I'm
order.
saying.
Like it's like Mike, he's not. Well, we already know he's not allowed within like 100 yards of a school, but he's also not allowed to face the Houston Astros.
Yeah. The thing that made me laugh the most was that I saw that they had two more members of the 27 Astros than the 28 or the 2021 Astros. And the stupid ass Oakland fans just booing people like Michael Brantley, just booing people that have Chaz McCormick, just people that have nothing. Just like, can you, if you're gonna boo, can you? I mean, it's a lot to ask for a fan to be educated in any sense, but it's just like, can y'all like? There's like y'all have more players. Like y'all are worse off. If you're talking about the cheaters, like y'all are much worse off. Like let's talk to your boys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like Oakland is the face of good behavior in baseball.
Did you see who wrote the headline? I don't remember. I wish I knew the publication because it made me happy. It was like Oakland. The Oakland fans, embarrass Astros with reigns of booze, still lose. Just one of the great years of a headline, where it was just like, oh yeah, the boisterous, loud booze rained upon the Astros, still lose.
So I'm going to ask you this, and like anything else in the show, like this was not prepared in advance. I just thought of it.
We don't prepare anything, guys. Yeah, they know. I think they know that by now.
Yeah. So this is if my question is, if you could fight one of the following, who would it be and why? Would you fight John Boy? Would you fight the Asterisk Tour, the Brendan dude whose face adorns every Astros win?
When you post that picture, it makes me happy.
Or Dan Clark?
Yeah, I'm gonna say neither. None of them. I don't care. I don't care. I think I still continue. I like John Boy's videos. I think he was a Yankees fan caught up in the moment, chasing clout. I don't agree with what he did. I just don't. I like his videos otherwise. I think he would have been malicious towards any team that were any accusations. I think he was. I have no problem with what he did. Dan Clark is a hater. If I have to pick the Asterisk Tour guy, because he's just sucks.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
But like, I mean, like, I understand that the pandemic pushed everything back, but I just that 2017 was so long ago that like, and this probably plays into my attitude towards it, where like I really didn't care about the infraction to begin with. Like we're 4 years removed from it. Like I don't. Let's move on from it. Like hearing about it is just like, okay, we're going on a booing tour for thing that none of these guys did, a couple of them. And it's just like, okay. And I feel like that's how they feel about it. They're going to use it to, when we talked about this last year, we're going to use it. They're going to use it to fuel them. And now that they're having fun again, they're not depressed. Bregman, when he was hitting these home runs and before the celebration, let the booze rain down on him, he's just like, let it rain down on me. Like, let's go. Y'all are just going to make them mad, and they're going to just beat you worse. And it's going to end up better for the Astros.
That's true. I think you're exactly right. Like, I think
who would you fight? I just don't have any of that anger left, because I think anybody still harping on it like that is, number one, a little bitch.
Yeah.
And just like, and they're just grasping on to just whatever they can to keep that narrative going along. Like, I was reading articles about how this is going to be the punishment year. And it's just like, we've been dealing with a bunch of shit Like, the thing wasn't a big deal to begin with. Can we just like shut up? I don't
My
know. That's
yeah, no,
that's how I feel.
I think that's a good way to feel about it. My thing with John Boy is I don't like that he wants to have it both ways. When he breaks something, he wants to be a serious journalist, and then when it backfires on him, he's like, I'm just creating content here. Like, I don't like how he kind of plays. He
Yeah,
walks
but
that
I do the exact same thing.
tightrope.
Do the exact same thing. If I break a story about something like the Greinke signing, yeah. Oh, I'm in media. Yeah, I'm doing this. I cover the team. But if I say something stupid, I'm like, yeah. Or do they pull the Altuve stunt? I'm like, yeah, I'm a clown. Like, I don't.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, so no. So like, it's not necessarily respectable, but I do understand it.
Yeah, no,
Right? He just,
and that's
I don't know. John Boy isn't like, he's not like some of the Yankee fans that are against the Astros. John Boy is pro baseball, and he has a good product. And like, I do watch a lot of his videos. He's not anti-Astro. He was in that instance, and he was searching for a story, and he was trying to get clout. But he is not
and
like,
got it.
it's not in his villain blood to where he's like, I will take down these Astros no matter what. I think he's more rational than people give him credit for. But I mean, I'm not pro John Boy. I don't think he's not a villain. I think he was just somebody that was a proponent of that story during that time, and
I can
it
respect
wasn't
that.
fair, and it wasn't fair, and he was wrong with the buzzer thing. But if you put yourself in some of those other people's shoes, every conspiracy theory is an option. Yeah, that tattoo thing is absolutely a buzzer. And if we were in the opposite situation, we would all be at least entertaining everything that he said. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I feel like the Astros tour guy is trying to pull a John Boy. Like, I think he saw what John Boy did, and he's trying to achieve that.
It's contrived.
It's very and now he has like a baseball newsletter, and he
he was writing a book, wasn't he?
He did write a book, I think, about the Cubs. The Dan Clark, like, I would 100, like, he's not trying, like, and especially when you have legitimate journalists like Britt Giroli, or however you pronounce her last name, and you have multiple media members be like, oh yeah, no, I remember Dan Clark when he had like a blog, and he would just take what we had written and say he had a scoop, and use that to like promote, his journalism, chops or whatever. Like, I feel
tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I would want, and for that reason alone, much less that he'll turn everything he can into an Astros thing. I would be willing to spend a night in jail to meet Dan Clark in an alley.
I'll agree with that. I'll go with you on that.
Also, don't think a jury would convict. If I did it in Harris County, no jury would convict me.
No, they would absolutely would not. Yeah, no, you're probably right, because there's the snake element of that, and that's just I mean, I've seen so many different other team accounts come around and be like, can we drop the whole scandal thing? Like this happened a long time ago. Like, I'm sick of hearing it. Like, the Astros are clearly good. They've continued to be good. Like, can we move on? Like, it's not. And that's one of the few rare rational people. But I do see that, and I'm just like, shout out to you, buddy. Like, yeah, nobody wants this to keep going on. No, including Manfred in baseball, which means we should probably prolong it. But
yeah. They're never going to release that Yankees
I don't know. It's just been so long ago, and I know it just dropped in 2020. So it was like, or 2019, was it 2019? 2019?
Late
right before
2019.
Yeah, late of 2019. So I mean, like, I do understand that there's some time difference, but like, what we're talking about was a long time ago, and these guys have not been doing it for a long time, and they've played at the top level of baseball for a couple years since then.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Jordan Alvarez.
Jordan
Alvarez.
Legend.
Yeah.
It's going to continually be, it will forever be hilarious that the Astros acquired him from the Dodgers for Josh Fields. That will always be funny.
Yes.
Because imagine the Dodgers with Yordan Alvarez. Like, the Dodgers are a good team. Like, I hate them. I don't hate them.
They don't need him. But
I do hate Cody Bellinger and Chris Taylor and Justin Turner. I do not hate Clayton Kershaw. I think Clayton Kershaw is one of the best pitchers of this generation and needs to be seen as such. And his postseason failures are overblown, because it fits a narrative.
I agree. I'm a big Kershaw guy too. I don't hate Bellinger. I don't like him just because it looks like he's on heroin and listening to Sublime every day. But Chris Taylor, very much on board with. There's a bunch of them that and they got rid of what's his name. That's what he was now an Angel, right? Our boy Jock.
Is he? I can't stand that guy.
Didn't he go to Anaheim? I don't know. But like the Dodgers, they have the thing against us, but I almost feel like it's like a.
It's contrived. They're so
but
good.
I'm trying to think of like the rivalry. Like they're all they talk about is us, and it's just like I don't. We played them in the World Series, but I don't have any hate for the Dodgers. So like anything they bring upon, you're making me respond with hate. Like I do not. Y'all aren't rivals. I don't care. Like if we play you in the World Series, so like they're like forcing a rivalry. They're like
well they want
they're like Texas and A&M with A&M going to SEC. Like you better play us. Like just yelling. It's like no, we're gonna go do this. Like we don't really care. That's thank you though. I don't know. I just don't. I don't care enough. The Dodgers are probably going to win the pennant. They're very good. It's going to be tough. They got some good teams out there.
I feel like the Dodgers are so good that they have to find that external motivation, like to drive them. Like, oh, remember what happened to us in 2017? Like but if like it's the difference in them. The Dodgers could legitimately win 117 games this year. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility. And so when you know you're that good, like you have to find some sort of external chip to put on your shoulder rather than like just go out and play the game every day. And I feel like that's kind of what the Astros are. No, the Astros are like, no, we're gonna come out today and we're gonna beat you today and we're going back to the hotel. And then we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to beat you tomorrow. And the sort of, and maybe it's the same, like maybe the desire to prove that they didn't really have to do the trash can thing and that going 29-31, in 2020 was a fluke, and maybe that's the same thing as like creating a fake enemy. But it just like, I just don't, again, going back to the question, like how good would the Dodgers be if they had Yordan Alvarez in their lineup? Like that's insane.
Well, that's a question for every team. I mean, just seeing some of the numbers they were displaying over the weekend with him passing Ted Williams and 88 RBIs over the first official 92 games and only
92 games, yeah.
92 games. Only 6 away from fucking Joe DiMaggio, and like to be like, and then that goes along with him hitting 315, hitting 30 home runs in these first games. Like, yes, and the injuries, but then coming back and just he missed the first double he hit was, just missed a home run, and then comes back and crushes. Like the guy can not only hit, he has power for days, but the guy actually is a hitter. Will beat the shift and just hit a line drive in left field through the gap. Just, he's absolutely an X factor. And you throw that in with Kyle Tucker, and it's just like this team, barring Michael Brantley's okay, which I'm assuming he is, but I don't want to assume too much.
Yeah.
Like my phone's falling.
Okay.
It's all right. It's just inertia. It starts in motion, stays in motion. No, you got our biggest grievances last year was that they weren't having fun at all. They looked miserable. The fun is back. Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman.
Yep.
Already, and then Michael Brantley, of course, is professional hitter as always. And then look, the production from guys like Jason Castro hits a big home run today. You get Miles Straw is contributing. Guys like this, like that's what makes a team into a juggernaut.
Yep.
Is when it's designed so the lineup is staggered out before it flips over, and these guys are getting on base and they're scoring runs, and they're Altuve's scoring on the pop up from short.
Yep.
Like that's a flex. That's saying we're back in shape, and we're playing aggressive baseball, and we're going to try to win. Like that was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think it got us enough run, like just in the ether as I thought it deserved.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that, like because I think I saw the play on Twitter, and I was like, wait a second. And I think I watched it like 2 or 3 times. Like, wait, what happened? Like it was
because I thought he was running from second. I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. So I was talking about from third. Was it infield fly rules or some weird rule? I couldn't understand it either.
Yeah.
Well, but he just took like a nonchalant catch. I mean, it does make sense. And then you got to get in the throw motion. You're on your back foot from from behind the infield, and he's fast. And he ran like it was like 30 point something seconds.
Yeah,
but just to do that, it's just like, hey, I'm back. Like,
yep, doing leadoff hitter things.
I don't know. So I mean, couldn't be more excited.
So, all right, you got anything else? Are we good?
No. I think I could go on and on about how great we're going to be.
Yeah, no, it's going to be.
Just the excitement's back, and like anybody who listened to any of our episodes last year where we were just lamenting everything, and some of our politically driven episodes, which I do argue were great.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic,
but they don't fit into the we're back to the some of the times where we were just like, yeah, everything's good, can't really complain, everything's pretty tight, things should be good, but we'll check back in this week and see what's going on, but and I'll give a report from Minute Maid. But no, it's good to be back. We're gonna win the World Series this year. I know, so. I'm not scared of anybody in the AL. We're winning the World Series.
And I have a lot of thoughts on Lana Del Rey that I need to get off my chest for the next episode.
I can't wait to hear this. It's a good teaser. Next week.
Yeah.
Love you, man. It's good to be back.
Hey, I love you too. Yeah, we're back. We're officially back.
Oh, this is just so exciting. All right, perfect.